everyone. We are here. This is the great thing about doing live shows. My name is Jules from WhatCulture.com. I'm joined by Adam Nicholas,
Hello.
aka the baby to my Adam Cole. Do you want to do it? One for the record?
I'm not going to do that, but I enjoyed that reference.
I think he's going to do it.
I enjoyed it a lot.
No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do that.
We're moving away from this. It's too late in the morning for this. I am very excited though still.
So what we're going to do for you guys today is we're going to tell you what went down, because my Lord on heaven on high, was that an excitable promotion and event.
I have nothing left to give. I am out. I've lost it. I lost everything. Everything is in there. It's in there somewhere.
Much like the talent, it's been left in the ring.
Oh my God. How good was that?
Right, let's just start at the very beginning.
Start at the start.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So kicking things off with the NXT Tag Champions, the War Raiders, going up against Ricochet and Moody Aleister Black. That's what they dubbed him on the actual, anyway. It was a fantastic, visceral match, and to be honest, I summed it up pretty well in my tweets, which said, they hit.
Blow your own horn there.
They hit each other as hard as I was for that match, you know.
What he said. I think the best part of this was the story that was being told between the two guys. There was respect out the match.
Yeah.
They went blow for blow. They went strength for strength, and then they went speed for speed.
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing. Such a good match, and the bit at the end as well.
Yeah. The best thing about the War Raiders is they continually surprise people, and that's why it was perfect that they retained the NXT Tag Championships, because a lot of people see them in their size and they think, oh, they're just going to get some sort of Authors of Pain stuff, big lumbering men's. But when you actually watch them and the speed at which they can do the cartwheels, the backflip stuff, back rolls, it is insane how athletic these guys are.
I think the way they were given a chance to do the actual match is what got to show that, and putting them up against two guys like Ricochet and Aleister Black really brought out their athletic side, their acrobatic side, and all in all, you got a match that was absolutely brilliant because of it.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff.
And like the thing is that obviously like Aleister Black and Ricochet, they're doing their tag work on the main roster at the moment. Cheers, man. They're doing their main roster work at the moment, and they are doing exceptionally well. So for them to actually take a loss on the NXT is fine.
Well, it's the way to do it though.
Yeah.
The way to do it. They go out on the back, and also you can see how.
So I always sound like I'm going to be sick whenever I do it. Yes, we had Matt Riddle versus Velveteen Dream for the North American.
I think what he means to say is,
There it is. And he was going up against Velveteen Dream, a.k.a. the North American champion. Now, this was a match that was incredibly understated at first, because the thing I've noticed about Dream is that while he is a young and incredibly gifted talent on the NXT roster, he likes to use a lot of old-school wrestling, like sort of mythological moves to get his sort of like matches going. Right. And I say mythological, what I mean is he summoned the
mannerisms.
The mannerisms, that's what I meant. And so he summoned the powers of Rick Rude doing the sexy little hip shuffle. Then he summoned Hulk Hogan to bust out that massive atomic leg. But that was great.
The big boot. I think the best part about this is you got two guys who arguably you couldn't have picked from when the match started.
No.
Velveteen Dream, obviously great as the champion, has earned his spot there, and a really charismatic guy. One of the most charismatic on the NXT roster, on the main roster, just in the company in general. And then you got Matt Riddle, who has come in and had a debut year so far that has been insanely good. From the moment you got these two guys, Matt Riddle kicking off his flip-flops, doing his thing at the beginning. Velveteen Dream came out on a sit-down stand.
He had actually like a throne, and he was dressed as the Statue of Liberty.
The Statue of Liberty. Yeah. It was amazing. The match itself was brilliant. I think the best part about this was that Matt Riddle, you could argue, took the whole match almost.
Yeah.
He beat the living daylights out of Velveteen Dream, and the way they did the match as such, Dream having to desperately keep his title by rolling Matt Riddle up as he went for the pro mission to end the match. Perfect way to end. Arguably one of the most, not ugliest fights, but like nastiest, really nasty
like
fights.
It was a proper beatdown for a long while, and to see Matt Riddle get so emotionally upset was quite interesting, because it's a facet of his character that hasn't really been explored yet, because he will do anything to win, and people should take him seriously, but to see him angry is a different side.
Angry, but it's the competitiveness, I think. But they definitely flirted with the idea, and even the crowd in the arena
they were like,
starting to turn a bit. There was boos, a little bit, things weren't exactly. I think it's something he probably wasn't used to, because he's been cheered quite a lot since he started. But also something that could be leaned into in the future, definitely.
Yep, it was fantastic. And then up next we had, it was the UK Championship,
match
between my God, the hardest big man to ever slap a rib cage out of a human person, Walter, going up against Pete Dunne. Now, Pete Dunne was sitting on a 586-day reign.
685-day reign. Give the man his due.
Sorry, did I
got your numbers wrong? It doesn't matter.
Right,
685 days he was at.
That was it.
And I think at this point we were all kind of expecting that his run might have been coming to an end.
Yeah, they were building it big.
They built it well, and if you were waiting for the right opponent to come in and be in that match with Pete Dunne to give him the match that was arguably going to end his title run, then Walter's the guy to do it. I mean, absolutely a monster of a man, presented as such since he started in NXT UK. And this match, I think a couple of guys have said it, I felt went a little bit too long for me. Well, just a little bit. But I would argue they've got two performers in there who worked really well with each other. You had the powerhouse of Walter. You had Pete Dunne, who obviously had to use his smarts and his speed to try and get the better. There was just a little bit too much of the... It was an obvious thing, the chop versus the hand, the finger stuff.
Well, the thing is that it's rock, paper, scissors. That's what you usually get with these sort of matchups. Except in this case, it was just scissors and rock bashing each other into base materials.
As Andy Murray quite accurately pointed out during the match itself, he said, how many fingers have you got? You must run out of fingers eventually. And I think that match could have done with being 5 minutes shorter to really hammer home how brutal and monstrous Walter really is. But I don't think it was a bad match by any means. There wasn't a bad match all night. They were absolutely fantastic.
If anything, you could say that the length of the match was almost dictated by Pete Dunne's desperation to hold on to the title, because he was doing anything and everything to put Walter away, but unfortunately he could not. And now we have a new UK champion.
NXT UK champion. WWE UK champion.
See, I'm getting the titles wrong because of the fact that the WWE got their own titles wrong. They put hashtag WWE UK titles.
NXT titles,
Anyway, up next we had the Fatal 4-Way between... It was Shayna Baszler, Kairi Sane, Io Shirai, and it was...
Bianca Belair.
Because I was going to call her
Not Brie Bella, as Jules called her earlier, by accident, I should point out. But there you go.
Just go easy on me.
You're tired. You've had a long day. He's had a long day.
I've had to sit down and watch wrestling and
get
paid for it.
It's a hard life, this, isn't it?
I know. This was a really interesting match because obviously you had the dynamic of the Sky Pirates being in a tag team that is in a Fatal 4-Way match, and obviously that creates a weird dynamic where there's always the risk that they're going to team up and have the eventual breakdown of who's going to go for the pin and who's the bigger person in that.
And for large portions of that match, if you weren't aware of what the match was, you probably could have thought it was a tag match because the two of them work well together. They eliminated the threats of Bianca Belair and Shayna Baszler really well. But ultimately, as do all the cases in these kind of matches, that had to come to an end at some point. And we got some really, really strong spots here from the women. I think the one element that maybe let this one down, I think not every match had a little let-down moment, but for the women, it was more the storytelling forward. I know a lot of people didn't like the end part of the match. There was a lot of controversy about that, but I would say the match in general throughout was brilliant. You wanted 4 performers who could offer you power, who could offer you pace, and who could offer you just pure nastiness from Shayna Baszler. She is a monster. They need to get her on the main roster as soon as possible. She is amazing. But ultimately, a clash of styles across the board, and it worked really well.
I mean, that's why a lot of people are now positing Baszler as being the next call-up from NXT to Raw. It makes a lot of sense, but also not a lot of sense why they kept the belt on her in this case, when Bianca is basically... She is custom ready for the main roster because of her attitude, her swagger that she carries with her.
Her charisma
is infectious.
She just walks around that ring and walks down to the ring. Absolutely looks like she's been doing it for years. She looks like she's been doing it for years. And they had so many good spots. Incredible spot where Bianca Belair got both of the Io Shirai and Kairi Sane on her shoulders, did the rack and slammed them down. It was akin to when John Cena did the first time when he had Edge. And it was absolutely brilliant. And I can't say enough about Bianca Belair. Her time will come, undoubtedly. And I think the Sky Pirates, we'll call them that for simplicity, didn't win purely for that reason, because ultimately they could be a tag team who could challenge Bayley and Sasha at some point.
Well, interestingly enough, it looked like towards the end of their segment that they were actually teasing a potential 3-on-3 with Belair basically joining up with the Sky Pirates, but that's yet to be discovered in future NXT tapings.
Ultimately, at the end of it all, Shayna Baszler retained her title by tapping out Bianca Belair. That's the one story element we maybe would have liked to have seen improve, because we thought perhaps we saw Bianca Belair in this moment in the last match they had. Maybe she would... Oh,
hey,
I couldn't agree more.
Baszler,
Couldn't agree more, mate. Couldn't agree more. But I think that mostly we would like to have seen that maybe she would have learned from that, perhaps found a way to get out of it. But ultimately, you can't argue. I keep saying ultimately because I'm so cold. I'm cold and I want to get there. But Shayna Baszler retaining. I'm not going to argue with that because Shayna Baszler is awesome.
And speaking of awesome, let's go on to our final match of the night, which was Johnny Gargano, who is, he's been thrust into this sort of championship title match, the vacant title match, we must say, because of Tommaso Ciampa's really unfortunate neck surgery and recovery that he's got to go through. Now, he was fantastic champion. He put out a tweet that was like 237 days as champion and I'm heartbroken because of this. It sucks when you have to have stuff taken away from you, not by your in-ring talent, but because of outside of things like that. But Johnny Gargano stepping into this role to try and fulfill a legacy, it was very, very interesting against, go on, do for the boys.
I might say it before the end. Listen, I'm not performing
Adam Cole. It's Adam Cole.
I'm not a performing monkey, but anyway, we had Cole and we had Gargano, and obviously there was a lot of weight on this match because Ciampa had such a good run. Gargano's Ciampa story was excellent up until this point. Devastating they couldn't finish it, but these two guys delivered a match like absolutely on that level. I was a little bit worried at the start because the first fall came quick.
Fall.
It was 2 out of 3 falls. The first fall came fairly quickly. The second fall also came not too long after that, with Cole tapping out dead quickly. But the point here was from the third fall was just unbelievable, absolutely incredible. The amount of just back and forth, and the amount of times we thought across everybody in the arena thought the match was going to be over, and it wasn't. And then we got right towards the end, after all of these back and forth moments between Gargano and Cole, we got some interference, Undisputed Era, of course, getting involved. And there was a point. I was done. I was lost. I ran out of energy. I was holding him. I was holding him, saying I had nothing left to give because there'd been so many near falls. Undisputed Era interrupted, completely destroyed Gargano. Then he kicked out, and then he destroyed them. And then Cole got him, and he still kicked out. Somehow, how did he do it?
I don't know. I've never had so many moments of this is it, and then disappointment since my sex life.
This rebel heart. Hey. Unbelievable stuff. To be honest, I thought Adam Cole was going to win. Genuinely thought, because I wanted Gargano and Ciampa get their moment together. But in the end, he didn't, because Johnny Gargano won, and I can't tell you. That moment when he lifted that championship up, my little rebel heart was just...
Well, and obviously Tommaso Ciampa at the end came in and congratulated him, which was absolutely fantastic. So the go-home image was of obviously Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. Let's take a look over there. See, this is the community spirit that NXT breeds. This is why independent wrestling, whether in the WWE or outside of it, is still incredibly important. It was a fantastic night. We honestly can't praise this enough. And yes, we are probably still running high of fumes from being here and seeing it live in New York. But still, for me, this was one of the best takeovers I've seen in a long time.
It was brilliant.
How they can improve is still the question on everyone's lips.
As always, tomorrow, not tomorrow, Sunday for the WrestleMania. How do you beat that? I don't know how they beat that, but they're going to give it a go, I'm sure.
With 20 odd matches, that's why. Anyway, we're going to bring you live coverage from that as well once that is finished. But from here at the Barclays Center, I have been Jules.
And I've been Adam Nicholas. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by all of our lovely fans.
You can go follow us. You can go follow us at RetroJ with a 0 over on Twitter and
at It's Adam Nicholas for me on Twitter, or you can follow us on WhatCulture at WhatCulture WWE. And Jules, I believe that's what went down.
It is indeed. Thank you so much for watching. And should we do an Adam Cole baby for the record?
Let's get Adam. Can we get an Adam Cole?
Guys,
can we get? No, we can't. We want to go. We can't be Adam Cole. We don't want Adam Cole. He lost. Adam Cole lost.
Oh.
Screw Adam Cole. Phil's right. Johnny Gargano, baby.
Oh, there we go. Baby! There we go. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll speak to you soon.